In this video, I'm going to be going over a super simple but highly profitable ICT trading strategy in 2025 that can help you become profitable. Be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video, as I'm going to be going over a live example on the NAS 100 chart and show you exactly how to maximize your win rate and profitability using this strategy. Let's get started. So some of the rules here, the first one being the sweep of liquidity on the 15-minute time frame, and be sure to have your time set at UTC4, which is a New York time zone, and the hours we will be trading is between 8 a.m. till 12 p.m. New York time. And exactly what we're looking for is a sweep of liquidity that can be either the low or the high. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to mark out is my low right here and our high that's up right here. I'm going to change the colors, so let's set this on yellow. So this is our swing low and swing high, and assuming that this candle represents 8 a.m. and this candle represents 12 p.m. New York time, we are waiting for a trade entry in between these hours. We're waiting for either the high or the low to be taken before we make a decision whether we're going to buy or sell the market. So let's get started. The next thing we want to wait for is a displacement in the opposite direction. So let me go back onto the diagram, and for the sake of this example, we are assuming that price takes out the high. So what we're looking for overall is sell positions, but we can't enter the trade as of yet. We are now waiting for a displacement. Once price displaces, we then wait for a fair value gap. So I'll just go ahead and show you. So displacement in the opposite direction, a market structure shift, and then a fair value gap. So let's go ahead and mark out the fair value gap and the market displacement. So we want a displacement something like this. So this would be our displacement and this would be our market structure shift. So I'll just go ahead and highlight the part which represents the displacement. So this candle right here, it is a displacement, which means there is high volume moving towards the downside in a single candle. We need displacement for the trade to be valid, and then following the displacement we need a low to be taken. So as you guys can see, I marked out this low right here and the low was taken. So this is our market structure shift. Then we have our fair value gap, which I'll mark out right above here. Right here would be our fair value gap, and we would essentially wait for price to tap into this fair value gap. And once again guys, if there's no fair value gap, once again the trade is invalid. Now we would simply set our short positions, start of the fair value gap. Our stop loss would be at this high. So as you guys can see, if we go back onto the rules, we can see entry at the start of the fair value gap and stop loss above swing high or swing low. Obviously that's depending on whether you're taking a short position or a long position. And then the final step, which is to target opposing liquidity, or what I like to do in this channel, and I always have documented it with every single strategy that I've posted, is targeting a simple 1 to 2. That's if you're wanting the highest win rate and the highest profitability possible. Not highest win rate, I meant highest profitability. So now what we're going to do is target the opposing liquidity, which would be right here, and that would be a 1 to 3.5 risk to reward ratio. But obviously if you're looking for high profitability, then simply target a 1 to 2, which would be around here. And next you just wait for price to hit your take profit level. So obviously this is a model example, so I'm just going to draw it out, but I'll give you an example on the NAS 100 charts in just a second. So we're waiting for something like this to play out. Now it doesn't matter if your TP hits after the session has ended. So obviously the trading hours is basically 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. but that is only your entry zone. You do not want to enter the trade after 12 p.m. However, if you're already in a position, then that's completely fine. You can hold till you hit take profit or stop loss. I hope that makes sense. I'll be now moving over to the live example on NAS 100. But just before I do, here is some of the results of our AI trading bot this month alone. As you guys can see, a client on a $8,000 live account, well $7,500, and I'll show you exactly in a second as to why it's $7,500. you can see in a single day over $3,900 profit was made, which is a 45% gain. And just at the end, I'll show you it is a live account. So as you guys can see, Vantage International live account, and the reason there's $7,500 in the account is because there was a withdrawal made of $4,500 just to remove risk off the table. I'll just zoom in. As you guys can see, $4,450 was withdrawn to USDT, and that was just from a single day worth of trading. And there's countless results of our AI trading bot. Here's another one of our clients called Jay. In just 2 days, completely automated on a live account, he made $800. So I'll just go ahead and show you $800 profit. Let's continue skipping. $848. And there's countless more results. Feel free to check out our AI trading bot, link down below. Okay, now we're going to be moving over to the live example on NAS 100. Now let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is get an indicator. This just makes your life much more easier. It's simply to mark out the hours of 8 AM to 12 PM. However, if you want, you can just mark it out manually. So let's go ahead and mark it out manually for the sake of this example once again. 8 AM till 12 PM. Okay, so the first thing we want is liquidity being taken out. So we're going to mark out a high and a low. We're going to mark out the most recent ones. So let's get started. So this is our recent high, and this is our recent low. You can also class this as your recent low if you'd prefer. Now what we do is simply wait for either the buy side liquidity or the sell side liquidity to be taken out. So let's see what happens. So liquidity has been taken out, yes. However, we've still not entered the hours of 8 AM till 12 PM. So do not look for a trade entry as of yet. We need confirmation. So we've now started the hours of 8 AM. I'm just going to remove these as the indicator has kicked in. So as you guys can see, liquidity has now been taken out. Now once liquidity has been taken out, you want to drop down to a lower time frame. Remember guys, step 1 is complete, which is sweep of liquidity on the 15-minute time frame. Now we're going to wait for displacement, market structure, fair value gap, etc. So I'm going to drop down to the 5 minutes time frame, and what we're waiting for is a market structure shift with displacement, and alongside that a fair value gap. So let's see if the market gives us an entry. So we'll continue to dump. I'm just going to speed it up. So as you guys can see, we did get displacement and we did get a fair value gap. So we would enter right here. So you have to be quick with your entries, guys. You won't have much time to enter, as this is a scalping strategy, super fast in and out trade. So we're going to put a long position, start of the fair value gap, and we're going to target simply our opposing liquidity up here, and our stop loss being extremely low down here. Now that gives us a 1 to 2.71 risk to reward ratio. If we'd like to, we could target these highs up here, and that would be the previous day's high, which is also an option. Now your win rate will be much lower if you are targeting higher risk to rewards, but for the sake of the video, let's go ahead and target the higher liquidity level, and let's see how this trade plays out. And just a tip for you guys, if you are looking to aim for these high risk to reward, what I would recommend is taking out 50% at different levels. So once a 1 to 2 hits, you may want to take out at this 1 to 2 level, and then you can hold the rest of the profits to this. Or what you can do is put your stop loss at the break even point and hold it. It'll be a risk-free trade then, and you still made profit as you've taken some profit at the 1.271 level. So still pretty good win rate, 1.27 win rate. So let's see how this trade plays out. And as you guys can see, we wicked and took out this high exactly. So if you were to have held your trade till the end, you would have hit a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, well almost a 1 to 4. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them down below in the comment section, and also be sure to check out our AI trading bot in our free Telegram channel, link down below.